الكلية الفيدرالية للتعليم كانوا لعله أن يحمل درجة الماجستير في الدراسات الإسلامية، ويقوم حاليا بدراسة الدكتوراه في جامعة أحمد بالو، وتشمل منشوراته بين أمور ومواضيع متعددة، لكن هو سيتحدث في الجانب الاستدامة من ناحية تكامل الدين والثقافة والطبيعة في البيئة المبنية. سيعرض تجربة في كانو، نموذج لعمارة مستدامة. تفضل. welcome.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the paper to be presented is an exposition of the extent to which nature, culture, and Islamic ethical principles are incorporated and integrated into the structure of residences in Kano City. Kano, attested to be one of the largest cities in West Africa, is one of the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which population of over 9 million is predominantly Muslim Hausa and Fulani. It is about 300 miles south of the edge of the Sahara, 400 miles north of the forest edge, 300 miles to west of Lake Chad, and 500 miles east of the river Niger. As the building architecture is vernacular, materials used in the building process include palm tree, rapier, seeds of locust bean tree, stew of beef, andropogon gaianas, earth in its various types, grass and weeds, animal dung, stalks, jute, goat's hair, and powdered wild root. The ability to absorb and reflect the local culture and faith of the Kano people make this architecture unique. Earth is dug out from burrow pits and processed until it becomes strong and sticky enough to be used in brick making, in concreting, and in daubing. This process includes soaking the earth in water, trampling on it by feet, and adding into it at reasonable intervals things like animal dung, grass and weeds, powdered wild roots, locust bean tree and the fruit pods, goat hair mixed with grease which is scraped off from previously soaked skin, and powdered wild root. The goat's hair mechanically improves the strength, and the grease waterproofs the plaster. The powdered wild root is soaked to produce gum which strongly binds the plaster. Conical bricks are laid on and covered with earth concrete, after which they are daubed with the clay. Bricklaying and daubing go hand in hand. When walls are midway up, they are left to dry up before the building process continues. The roofing process begins with placing 3 or 4 trunks of palm tree on the edge of the dried walls. They are intersected with similar trunks of a female palm tree. Each trunk is placed close to the other. Rigid and heavy and resistant to termite attack for many years, they serve as a wooden reinforcement to make the structure of walls and pillars stronger. It is also used to make frame constructions, beams, brackets, and cobbles as elements for carrying flat and domed roofs. Matured andropogon gaianas is woven to give a thatch mat, which in Hausa we call zana. Bunches of jute are roped and knitted with the top edge, bottom edge, and the middle of the thatched mat. In some cases, mat made from raffia is also used. It is then spread on the rafter and daubed with clay. The last layer is gravels, soft dry earth or mud bricks in twos. Wet processed earth is then applied to the point of connection between the rafter and the edge of the walls. Bricks in twos with a space in between are positioned on the wet earth, leaving some columns for position chutes. These drain the rainwater quickly and easily off the roof. This signifies the final phase of the building process. Roof may be flat or domed, depending on the choice of the owner. The shape residents generally take reflects Islamic ethical principles. The house is divided into the public, the transitional, and the private rooms. House facade, earthen seats, and entrance hall constitute the public domain. Passage rooms serve as the transitional part as they serve as a link between the public and the private sections. Inner open courtyard, which comprises bedrooms, master's room, cooking area, animal stand, well, tree, clay pots for storing drinking water, threshing, winnowing, pounding and grinding yard, etc., is the private part of the house which no male beside the husband could have access to without permission. Male grown-ups may have access to the private section at some specified times. Though devoid of marble stones and metals, the building is wonderfully strong and durable. There are many structures in Kano that are over 100 years old and still exist. A typical example is the Badala, a fence built of mud which surrounds the old city. It is several years old. Despite the fact that houses of the common man, the affluent, the scholar, and the chief may differ considerably in size and in beautification, this is the common configuration which all residences have. The following are those Islamic ethical principles which are integrated into the Kano traditional building architecture. Number 1, audio-visual privacy of inmates is worth safeguarding and protecting. The entrance hall and the passage rooms serve as a barrier to the outside world. Guests wait for the housemaster on the earthen seat in order to safeguard his privacy. Should he come out unprepared, he is received at the entrance hall. The housemaster's separate area safeguards his own privacy. Not even inmates or his wives could have access to this area without his permission. Number 2, neighbors' rights are sacred and beyond question. There are no multi-story buildings with windows directly facing the private rooms of their houses. Entrance of the opposite house does not directly face the neighbor's entrance as a respect for his privacy. Domestic animals and birds are kept within the vicinity of the courtyard in order not to harm a neighbor. Number 3, safeguarding moral integrity of the society is mandatory and not optional. Entrance hall and passage room safeguard the chastity of adults in the society by protecting them against lustful gaze and encroachment into other people's privacy. Holding ceremonies within the courtyard protects younger ones against moral decay. Number 4, separation of the sexes is a virtue, while illegal and immoral intermingling is an evil. Female-only ceremonies take place in the open courtyard, while males hold these in the forecourt. Male grown-ups sleep in the passage room and are not even permitted into the private room of the house on some specified occasions, while females continue to sleep with their respective mothers until they get married. Watertight division of the house into 3 rooms is a further indication of gender separation. Number 5, revering knowledge and scholarship is an act of worship. Married female students receive their lesson in a secluded area of the house and away from the sight of even the housemaster. Male adults attend their lesson in the entrance hall. The forecourt and passage rooms are classes for children. Number 6, guests are always a blessing to the house. They are received at the entrance hall or the special reception area and accommodated in the passage room. Number 7, providing for those in need is a Quranic injunction. Food is brought to the forecourt or entrance hall for all and sundry. Neighboring male grown-ups whose parents are of lesser means spend the night in the passage room or entrance hall. Desperate female stranger is free to ease herself in the general bathroom. Number 8, social unity and cohesion are the fabric of peace, strength, and success. Occasions such as mourning, wedding, and naming ceremonies with female attendees are held in the open courtyard, while the forecourt or facade is for male attendees. Reconciling between disputing parties as well as discussing on pressing issues and social discourse takes place in the entrance hall. A réchauffé is also served there. Number 9, consanguinity and affinity are the building blocks of a serene society. The wide open courtyard is reserved for expansion in the future should a male inmate or even a houseboy get married. Findings and conclusion. It is discovered by this paper that while nature is relied upon to provide the building material, religion, which is Islam, dictates the design, while local culture provides the methodology. A typical example of the comprehensiveness of vernacular architecture and the extent to which it is able to bind people with their way of life and sustain their culture and skills. It was also found out that the architecture is sustainable because, number one, the architecture responds to function, climate, natural force, local resources, and culture. Number two, there is therefore a direct relationship between the builder and the building and its environment. Number three, this architecture entails maximum utilization of naturally available energy to its own benefit. Number four, all building materials are grown and available on the land. A palm tree, for instance, serves as a windbreaker, a fruit bearer, a food, a seasoning condiment, and fuel. When needed as a building material, well, it is also available. Number five, it is designed to be reused or recycled as a whole or in part at the end of its life. This is because if such a house were to be demolished, the bricks, the earth, the palm trunks, etc., can be reused in building another house. Number seven, it is artistic because it satisfies aesthetic standards and sensibilities. Number eight, it is also functionally effective. Number nine, it is a low-cost architecture. This is because it requires no drawn pre-building plan or expensive quantity surveying. Number 10, it is low-tech, as it carries simple solutions. For instance, roof leaking requires only scratching of the earth roof and some little refills. Lastly, it is equitable, as it allows architecture to be accessible to everybody now and in the future, and not just for the wealthy. Conclusion. The paper concludes that dwellings in this part of the globe are more than shelter, but houses, as they are born out of a genuine and authentic architecture which is environment friendly and responds to the local climate. Houses are warmer in winter and cooler in summer. The culture, tradition, and faith of the Kano people have been substantially sustained by their traditional building architecture. Nature is therefore considered a tool for preserving not only the physical environment, but also the social environment. Structure of residences and the setup of the building environment help to safeguard the moral integrity of the society. For a sustainable house development, therefore, vernacular architecture, which reflects the socio-economic, cultural, and political lives of people, proves to be a good alternative. Thank you very much for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu wa rahmatullah. Thank you, Ustad Ahmed, and you are most welcome in Architectural Club. I think you are for this distinguished speak. And now we'll move to Algeria and إلى الجزائر، حيث السكن الاجتماعي بالجزائر ومدى تماشيه مع الخصائص البيئية العالمية. مسكن اجتماعي بالمسيلة أو المسيلة؟ مسيلة بالجزائر. أستاذ الدكتور جمال دحدوح جمال، أستاذ مساعد بمعهد تسيير التقنيات الحضرية بجامعة المسيلة أو المسيلة الجزائر، آسف. مهندس معماري وماجستير تخصص تسيير المدينة، يحضر دكتوراه في علوم تخصص هندسة معمارية، له خبرة 20 سنة في ميدان السكن، تقلد عدة مناصب آخرها إطار سامي لدى وزارة السكن والعمران بالجزائر لغاية سنة 2006، حيث التحق بالتعليم العالي وكان عضو المجلس العلمي لمعهد تسيير التقنيات الحضرية ورئيس قسم تسيير المدينة بنفس المعهد، عضو مشروع بحث حول التسيير الإيكولوجي للبيئة الحضرية، المشاركة في مؤتمر دولي بالجزائر، وله عدة مشاركات في مؤتمر دولي في السعودية حول التقنية والاستدامة في العمران.